My name is Renee Spears. I'm the State Board QA Officer, and I wanted to describe the quality management plan that we have here at State Board, at the Waterboards. First, one a little background. My responsibilities here at the State Board include QA training to Waterboard staff and external stakeholders such as NPDES dischargers. I review project plans and coordinate with the EPA DMR program, which is an annual NPDES requirement here by EPA annually, as well as prepare QA roundtable meetings that we hold once each quarter, which everyone is invited to attend. Okay, in the overview of a quality management plan documents how an organization structures its quality system and describes its quality policies and procedures. Our QMP is an umbrella document under which individual plans are prepared, be it program plans, project plans, SOPs, and other documents. The QMP is applicable for up to 5 years. A QMP documents how an organization determines the suitability and effectiveness of the performance of its environmental programs. Can everyone hear me all right?
We can hear you pretty good over here.
Okay, thanks, Eric. There are 3 major components of a QMP. They're planning, implementation, and oversight, and I can't stress the planning enough. Documents are not designed to be a one-size-fits-all and will depend upon what decisions are to be made with the data. The planning documents are prepared that are appropriate in size and complexity for either the program, such as in a program plan, or a project for the use of the data. Project plans, as you're all aware of, can be 10 pages long. They can be 200 pages long. It really depends on the project. And all the data requirements all go back to what you will be, what we ask, or what you need to put in your project plan. Some projects are analyzing 2 components or 2 analytes. Perhaps there are puddles in an alley, and you want to find out how much asbestos or oil and grease are in those puddles. Other project plans will go for many seasons and may have 200-300 analytes, 125 pesticides, vast number of nutrients, metals, microbiology. So it really, the project plan is project specific. Planning ensures that the information collected meets the needs and quality that is expected for project plans, program plans, other planning documents, and standard operating procedures. The quality system is consistent with U.S. EPA's quality management system requirements and state board directives. The objectives of a quality system are that scientific data integrity is ensured, reduced or justifiable resource expenditures, effective management of internal and external activities, which also can help reduce costs, and reliable and defensible decisions. Also ensures that the information collected meets the need and quality of the project, and that's really the most important component of these planning documents, is that you have, that the information you're collecting will answer the questions that you originally had with regard to an issue or sampling plan. I want to describe some of the roles and responsibilities that are listed in the quality management plan, and after the state board manager, program manager description, the descriptions are really very similar, and so I apologize for any redundancy. Roles and responsibilities of the state board program manager, as stated in our QMP, ensures that there are sufficient resources for the quality system. That individual is Rich Brewer here at State Board. That's the State Board and Regional Board QA policy for consistency with overall State Board policy. The QA officer ensures compliance with the quality management plan. That is me. I provide training for QA/QC concepts, participate in QA roundtables, prepare, review, and approve planning documents, participate in the QMP update, which is scheduled to be updated in 2015, and prepare annual QA reports to U.S. EPA. The Regional Board QA lead provides information about his or her region's quality system to other Regional Board members, enhancing understanding and compliance of overall quality system. The Regional Board lead ensures compliance with the QMP, the following aspects: provides QA information and training, participates in the QA roundtable, prepares, reviews, and approves project plan documents, prepares annual updates, and serves as the Regional Board's QA expert. At the State Board, we have QA program representatives, which provide information about his or her program's quality system to program members, enhancing understanding and compliance of the overall quality system. The State Board program representative ensures compliance with the QMP by providing QA information and training, participates in the QA roundtable, prepares, reviews, approves project planning documents, and prepares an annual update. The annual updates provided by the Regional Board leads, the program leads, are all included in the annual report that I prepare for U.S. EPA. Assessment of the quality system for programs and projects is accomplished through 4 activities: management system reviews, technical system audits, data review, and oversight record keeping. The quality improvement process. Documentation of this process of how we improve our quality system is as follows: project-specific problem identification reports, internal quality assurance reports, and then the annual quality assurance report to U.S. EPA, which outlines the QA activities of the regions and aspects of quality assurance that have been carried out, or reasons perhaps why they weren't able to. Some people move from position to position, and therefore they may have left their QA lead position, and so EPA is apprised of this, so they know where we are here in the state with respect to QA/QC. Are there any questions? I'm happy to send everyone a copy of our QMP. It's also listed on our QA/QC website. Oh, and for contact information, please contact me here at the State Board or by phone or email. All right. The State Board has Waterboards have a quality assurance, quality control website. This was developed and presented in January of 2014. It's very much a work in progress, and we hope that we plan on it evolving to include more information, such as more guidance documents that we've reviewed or that we come across via EPA or other resources. It's a repository of developed QA/QC documents. The quality system, as I mentioned earlier, is a system introduced by U.S. EPA in approximately 1999. The quality assurance and quality control are components of the quality system. The Waterboards uses this quality system approach developed by U.S. EPA. The QA/QC website is one of the tools that SWAMP, for example, provides to other programs, agencies, and organizations to help ensure consistent document data quality. So such programs as the Monitoring Council's Healthy Streams Partnership and the Bioaccumulation Oversight Group, Safe to Eat Fish. Here is an example of the website. We need to update it. Since this was originally presented, we have a new unit that Melissa will speak of. She's the supervisor of that unit, and many new staff whose names aren't there on the current website, but it will be updated shortly. So this might be a nice time to use that laser. Let's see. Pointer, okay. Yeah, okay. And these are some of the topics we have. What is QA? What is QC? Online QA, QC training that we have, as well as explaining the quality system. Okay, the next page this is also a page on the website where we have a drop-down menu for what is QA, what is QC. Can I reference other documents in my project plan? Are there example QA PPs that I can look at, etc.? How does a QA PRP, which is a program plan, differ from a QA project plan? This is the QMP. I just wanted to put it up here so everyone has a look at it. This is a website that EPA provides. It, too, is on our QA website with various resources provided by EPA for SOP writing, data validation, guidance, project plan preparation, as well as program plan preparation. Excuse me, I misspoke on the program plan. That can be provided, though. That's actually a Region 9 document, which wouldn't appear on this website from US EPA headquarters. Comments about the website. It is still a work in progress. At some point, please take a few minutes to review the website and provide to me your comments, or to Melissa. We appreciate hearing all your comments and wanting to improve it to where it is the most effective and helpful for you. And also, what other information should we include in the QA/QC website? Getting the word out. We try to broadcast the information in various ways. It is on the state board and regional board websites. Programmatic roundtables here, presentation to government agencies, presentations to citizen monitoring groups such as this. And this last one's kind of funky, but it works. Conversations and emails with coworkers and colleagues that may have questions about QA/QC. Here is a list of the websites that we have that I spoke of earlier. The top is the website location for our QA/QC website. The one below is the website with all the EPA guidance documents. Are there any questions?
Renee?
Yes, Eric?
Yeah, I have a question that came in via chat.
Yes.
So bear with me as it just popped up here. Let's see. Regional Waterboard QA officers are doing a whole list of things. But some regions' QA leads say that there are no resources for QA at the regions. They don't have, I guess, a task code to charge for QA. So how do they deal with that?
That's a wonderful question. I thank whoever wrote that. That is a real issue. It's been time taken away from really other projects to devote toward QA/QC. Really,
is the state board planning to provide any resources to help out with this, Renee?
Not at this time, no. And that's also another component of information that goes into the annual report is due to budgetary issues that may occur, people again transferring from one job to another, workload and such. It's very difficult for the regional board leads to make time to call in and assume, the QA responsibilities. And we're aware of that. We do appreciate, the individuals that can take the time.
Yeah, I know it's been an issue with some of the grants because they've had to have regional QA officers sign off on their QA PP, as part of the grant requirements, but
Right.
there was nobody to sign off on it.
Right. Actually, and that's one of the roles of a regional board QA officer, but they're or QA lead. But I would like to say that if you have project plans that need to be signed off, please send them to me, and we will review them here and make comments and sign off on them.
Thank you.
Appropriate. Yes. Yeah. Please forward them all over here. And I apologize. I know it's just it's a lot to ask with our workloads as they are, to make the time for QA QC. But it is really so important and so fundamental to what we do. And I know I'm introducing many guidance documents, and I'm well aware that the QMP may not be well known to many people, and I can't speak as to why it hasn't been in the past, but we're doing everything we can here to really follow guidance and with the view of making our data better, and not having data that maybe is questionable, and reducing cost, because it does. If you have a plan, you've outlined what you need to do, and it just makes things that much easier. We hope.
Renee, this is Kevin Lundy.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi. I had a question about, there used to be a feature called a QA Advisor, if I'm remembering that right, and if I'm not, Eric can correct me. And
no, you are.
Is there a plan to add that feature back to the QA website, or is the plan to not use that tool anymore?
I'll answer that, and then Melissa's right here, and she can provide an answer as well. The reason it was taken off was because I believe it although it was helpful to some degree, it was also very, very onerous and quite long. And as I said earlier, some projects are just very small, and maybe a couple analytes. And we were actually receiving project plans for, I remember one specifically, 2 analytes and a 124-page project plan for this project. And so that was obviously far too much for an individual or entity to have to produce. And so it was agreed that it was somewhat outdated and maybe not really speaking to the needs of individuals that need to prepare project plans, as well as the EPA guidance does a really fine job of walking an individual through things where you're thinking about it. There's no right answer, and we're not really looking for canned language. The project information and project plan should reflect the project at hand. And so that's why that was initially taken off. Many people loathed it. Many people really appreciated it. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa, because I think we do have plans to have some type of guidance that's a little more directive, as opposed to just you will fill in this and then cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. And yet we want something to be more organic, as with the guidance provided by EPA. So Melissa, can you?
Yeah, we've been in discussion about creating new tools for quality assurance project plans. Unfortunately, it's not in the immediate schedule because we have some other priorities that take precedence. And I'll explain that more in my presentation.
But Kevin, thank you for the question, and for those of you that have upcoming project plans or are going to be doing them in the future, please let me know, and we'll provide guidance. I won't just be sending you off a website, and look at this and do a wonderful project plan that's going to meet your needs perfectly. We'd like to work with you before the project, the sample date is a month away. It's really to everyone's benefit that we have a little bit of lead time in working with you on that. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Renee?
Yes, Eric?
Yeah, we have another question that came in.
Oh, good, okay.
Yeah, it's related to Prop 1, which was recently passed.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it says that monitoring, for both surface and groundwater must be conducted in a way that is compatible and consistent with the state water board. So will the water board be issuing any guidance to help out the grantees and what actually does it mean to be compatible and consistent?
Okay, two questions there. Melissa's right here. She will provide her guidance as well. In answering a question that came in with regard to some issues with not issues, but questions about Prop 1, we were able to find information with regard to recycled water. Now, they're providing information to their interested parties, I think January 15th, or in January of 2015. And so at this point, we don't know what the specifics will be on that, but we look forward to having some type of guidance out there shortly, once it exists. And then with regard to the compatibility or comparability, I think that's a project that's an issue that is being worked on as well.
Right. So we received our first question about Prop 1 within the last 3 days. We were not aware that the Prop 1 language contained that, so it's new to us. So we are going to take that information to our management and coordinate with the Prop 1 folks, which I believe are being hired soon. Mm-hmm. So they're not even in-house yet. But we will develop something and get it out soon. If there's surface water, in the past, comparability used to be defined as get your data into CDN and make sure it's swamp comparable in quality. For groundwater, the data system is GeoTracker. For projects that don't have surface water or groundwater or maybe research-based, we're not sure at this moment, but we are working on it.
Thank you. If you have additional questions related to these topics, if you could hold them and then ask your questions at the end of our final presentation. Thank you.
Hi, Eric. This is Renee, and I just would like to tell to everyone that we realize that there are quite a bit of a lot of change going on here, and we certainly understand the questions that we're receiving and would prefer to be more forthcoming in answers, but we're trying to work our way through it, to be honest with you, and but we are here.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Morris. I'm the Unit Chief for the Quality Assurance and Data Management Unit under the Office of Information Analysis and Assessment for State Water Resources Control Board. So, Office of Information Analysis and Assessment oversees several programs, including CDN, CWIX, the State Board's QA program, and SWAMP. So I'll be going into a little bit about SWAMP to provide you some background on why my unit is even here. Oops, not too many. So the Surface Water Ambient Monitoring Program was created over a decade ago in response to a legislative mandate to create that unifying program that would coordinate all water quality monitoring conducted by the state and regional water boards. So SWAMP accomplishes that through 3 strategy priorities. That includes coordination, monitoring, assessment, and reporting, provided through a handful of statewide monitoring projects as well as regional monitoring. The third priority is to provide infrastructure and tools to the SWAMP program and those outside of SWAMP, which includes quality assurance program, data management program, methods, which include SOPs, thresholds and indicators, program templates, and an assessment framework. So for over a decade, SWAMP has contracted with the Moss Landing Marine Labs to provide the quality assurance and data management infrastructure and help desk services. So, as I said, this has been occurring for over a decade, and back when SWAMP first started, this effort was groundbreaking. No other program had this level of support for data management and quality assurance, and it showed. So the infrastructure included database hosting and maintenance, the processing and loading of SWAMP monitoring data, verification and quality control, as well as the establishment of measurement quality objectives, corrective actions, and the planning documents, including SOPs. So on top of providing that infrastructure, Moss Landing also provided the Swamp Quality Assurance Help Desk from 2006 to current, the Swamp Data Management Help Desk between 2006 and 2011, and in 2011, the funding focus shifted from SWAMP to CDN, which is the California Environmental Data Exchange Network. So the help desk for quality assurance included the review of quality assurance project plans and recommendations, directing callers to available resources, addressing questions regarding SWAMP comparability, and providing advice on how to address elements within a quality assurance project plan. The help desk database services included also directing callers to available resources, addressing questions regarding database comparability, distribution of Microsoft Excel templates, databases, and providing limited information on how to set up your own data management structure. And please note, this is now offered by CDN, which is also contracted through Moss Landing. So what changed? Regrettably, due to recent changes in the state contracting, the SWAMP portion of those services are now being brought inside the Waterboard as civil service positions. So the reason why these changes happen is because this contract, the tasks associated with the contract closely match those that could be provided by civil service positions. So it's something that nobody wanted to happen, but happened out of our control. So we created a budget change proposal to add 9 new positions to the Office of Information Management Analysis, just for those quality assurance and data management functions. So 7 positions, 1 supervisor and 6 environmental scientists was created, and 2 positions directly in IT, which is the Division of Information Technology, for support of the SWAMP database in SQL programming and applications like the online data checker. So here's a very brief overview of the SWAMP, or the OIMA organizational structure. You can see that there's 2 positions under the Division of Information Technology. The 7 positions for QA and data management are highlighted in green as a brand new unit. You can also see that there's the SWAMP program, the CWICS and CDN support, the California Monitoring Council, the State Board QA officer, senior environmental scientists that are in charge of assessment and reporting, citizens monitoring, which is Eric, and 2 contract support or program management positions. So basically, I was in charge of creating a brand new unit. I had 2 options. I could organize my staff exactly how the previous contract staff was divided, which they had 2 teams, 1 team for QA and 1 team for data management, and it worked very well. But then I only had 6 staff, whereas the 2 teams generally composed of 5 to 6 individuals. So I had this other option of having all 6 staff be in charge of both QA and data management. So I wondered, how could I accomplish this? So when you look at the monitoring lifespan of a sample, the things that go into that sample include the planning, the actual collection of the sample, the submission of the sample to the laboratory where it's analyzed, and the data management of the analysis results. Every single one of those elements goes into water quality assessment and the final goal. So here I've included the QC elements that go along with this monitoring lifespan, which includes planning documents, data quality objectives, sampling design, measurement quality objectives. Under the sample collection, that includes the standard operating procedures, sample handling and preservation. For laboratory data, it includes method comparability, verification, corrective actions. And in data management, the required metadata formatting business rules and the verification validation process. So how could I include all 6 staff in all of those elements rather than just a few? Well, we also have a variety of data types. In SWAMP, we have the sample collection, the field measurements and habitat of bioassessment and regular sample collection, chemistry, benthic macroinvertebrate taxonomy, algae taxonomy, tissue for bioaccumulation, toxicity, pathogens and indicators, and deployable sensor data. And as you can see, each one of these data types includes both a quality assurance component and a data management component. So the organizational goals going with this lifespan of monitoring approach allows for staff specialization by data type, where I can utilize my staff's background, education, and strengths, as well as utilize their ability to facilitate coordination with expert groups and contacts. This approach also allows for integration and teamwork on core functions like the larger QA/QC elements, the database systems, and also allows me to evenly distribute the workload. This also will help the help desk support, where I can have multiple staff to assist with larger QA concept questions, as well as provide whole picture answers from planning to validation for these specialized data types. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my brand new unit. So I have 6 environmental staff. Kim Pham is our chemist. She'll be focusing on water and sediment chemistry. Brian Ogg, his specialty is toxicity. So his focus will be toxicity and bioaccumulation. Marissa Van Dyke is a microbiologist. Her focus will be cyanobacteria, pathogens, and everything that goes along with those microbes, including the harmful algal blooms, because those are cyanobacteria. Mark Petta, he's our bioassessment guy. He will be in charge of physical habitat, deployable sensors, and sample collection. Candace Hines is also a bioassessment person. Her focus will be the algal taxonomy, which is the data coming from the microscope. And Toni Marshall, also a bioassessment person. Her focus will be the benthic macroinvertebrate taxonomy. So here I've tried to cover all the different variety of data types that SWAMP could provide and possibly other programs, so we can provide a full spectrum assistance and support for the SWAMP program. Our current tasks and goals. Well, right now we're in this transition where we're moving the data management infrastructure, all the tasks associated, from Moss Landing to State Board. That's a huge project. Not only do we have to copy over the server information and make sure it works on the State Board servers, we also have to train with these folks to make sure we process the data in the exact same way. So right now, our main focus is transitioning this data management infrastructure. We're also been asked to revise the SWAMP program plan. The last plan that was finalized was in 2008, and these documents are supposed to be revised every 5 years. As part of that revision, we were asked by EPA to include a section on SWAMP comparability to help address those questions like Prop 1, as well as other programs inserting the SWAMP comparability language into their orders, permits, and other projects. We will also be creating a new SWAMP comparability help desk webpage, which is not done yet. So I'll be working with Renee to make sure we have 2 web pages, one to address the SWAMP comparability and assist with that QA help desk. So what about SWAMP comparability? Well, SWAMP's been around for a decade, so they've gone through and identified the key things that they feel are important to make your data comparable with SWAMP. So one is get your data into a similar format. Right now, that is CEDN, and we have help desk at CEDN to assist you with that process. So please go to cedn.org and find out which regional data center you're located in. The second component is the QA, and here I have outlined with the hash marks which elements of SWAMP comparability have been defined today. And as you can see, using this lifespan model, there's a few elements that we could possibly work on to even further assist this process. So that could include having metadata that matches SWAMP. So that includes all of our QC samples and the number of columns you're filling out. Now CEDN, even though it's structured in a similar way to SWAMP, you can put pretty much any kind of data you want into CEDN. Not all of the columns are required, and metadata is not required to get it into CEDN. But to match the standards of SWAMP, we might want to look at saying you need these many columns and this kind of information so it can all be used and assessed together. We could also provide sampling design help. We have documentation on how SWAMP does this, and it would be a useful thing to share with the public. So as you can see, there's a variety of things that we can work on and improve the SWAMP comparability help. So for more information, please look at the SWAMP webpage. I've provided it here. Or you can give me a call or send me an email. And the one thing that's updated right now is the SWAMP contacts page. So if you go to the SWAMP webpage and go to the contacts tab and click on SWAMP, all of my new staff are there with their phone numbers, emails, and their focus for their data specialty. Okay? And I believe that's it. Yep. Okay, so we can open up to questions.
Yeah, I have a question that came in via chat.
Sure.
Yeah, during the transfer, I guess, of the servers, will there be any downtime in the SWAMP data checker at Moss Landing?
Our plan right now is we're copying over all the systems now and putting them on the state boards, and we're running them as shadow. So what we're hoping is that the day we need to switch, you won't notice anything.
Thank you. If you have questions, please send them via chat. You can send them to me. You can send them to the OIMA folks that are doing the presentation. You can also just press *6 and ask your questions direct. Gotten some comments thanking you guys for the information.
Thank you for attending. Yes. And again, we're happy to field any questions through email or phone.
Okay, got another chat question comment. They'd like to confirm that CEDN is accepting new data and is current.
Yes, so there was some issue with the advanced query tool, which is the website that you view through the web. It should be refreshing on a weekly basis now, and they've always been accepting new data. So everything that's loaded will get synced with CEDN on a schedule, and that's determined by your regional data center. And the website should be refreshing appropriately. If there's any issues, you can email me, and I will funnel it through to the CEDN folks and investigate.
Eric, this is Renee. I have a comment I'd like to make about a question you asked earlier, if I may.
Sure.
It's regarding the SWAMP comparability with regard to the DFA contracts and such. The approval doesn't just rest solely on SWAMP comparability. There's also language in the contracts that includes US EPA as well. Okay. And so these are considered when reviewing project plans also.